Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be talking about the tools that you need when you're beginning your makeup journey. If you haven't started doing makeup and you don't know what you need, the tools that you'll need for makeup application, this is the video for you. Hi, my name is Beverly. I'm a makeup artist based in Nairobi, and kindly, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell where you can get notifications on the many videos that I'll be uploading each time I'll be uploading. So first and foremost, makeup application, where do you begin? First and foremost, priming your face. You don't need any tool to prime your face. You can just use your hands, take the primer, apply the makeup. Number two, you need to do your eyebrows. So what you need, apart from the Davis number 3 pencil that I use, this is the Davis number 3 pencil for my eyebrows. The tool that I use for my eyebrows is like this. So this is called an angled brush because it's angled on one side. So why you need this angled brush is for applying the product, which in this case is the concealer, on when you're making the curve here. That's why you need the angled brush. If it's flat on top, it might not produce a good result. You need an angled brush like this. I hope you can see the angled brush for going in to the eyebrow so that you can make this cut here up like that. A flat brush might not do it well, so I suggest this, an angled brush. But if you can use a flat brush, it's just fine. You can use a small flat brush like this for applying the concealer underneath the eyebrows. So either an angled brush or a flat brush. Number two, a concealer brush. You can just ask around. If you're going to buy these brushes, number one, angled or flat brush, then a concealer. This is a concealer brush. You can use to apply concealer on the eyelids before applying the eyeshadow. Now this, you're using the concealer as a base. So when applying this, you'll need a bit of a wider brush like this. I hope you can see. This is a concealer brush. You can use to apply the concealer on the eyelid. A fluffy brush. So as you can see, I've used a brown eyeshadow and a gold one. So this one is called a fluffy brush. Is what you'll need to put the matte eyeshadow. This one. So it's just a fluffy brush to put like the base, the matte eyeshadow. You can use it to just fluff it round because it's called a fluffy brush. Just fluffing the eyeshadow round. Then on top of that, you can now use the shimmer one, which you will use this. So a fluffy brush and a flat brush. This is for the matte eyeshadow at the back here, and this is for the shimmer eyeshadow in front here. So a fluffy brush can also look like this. As you can see, it's still the same thing, yeah? So it's a fluffy brush. So a fluffy brush can look like this or like this for just applying the matte shadow all around the eyelid. Then for this, you can use to apply the glitter or the shimmery eyeshadow in front here. Next, what do you need after that? Now, after this, we'll need to apply foundation. So this is a foundation brush. Sorry, it's dirty. I've just used it. So this is the foundation brush. You can use a nice with firm bristles. A foundation brush would be better if you get one with firm bristles. It's more expensive compared to others. Like I can show you another. This is a foundation brush. As you can see, the bristles are firm, though it can still work. If it's your personal one, it can still work well. You can use this foundation brush, but the bristles are not as many and as firm. So you can either get this, a firm one, another one, a firm foundation brush, or ta-da, you can use a beauty blender. So granted, a beauty blender, this one is already damp. You have to use water to make sure it's damp so that when you use water on the beauty blender, it swells. So it becomes 2 to 3 sizes bigger than its normal size. So you can use this. This is a beauty blender. So you can use this beauty blender to push in the product. So a beauty blender might be easier compared to a foundation brush, but it absorbed more product. So you'll find that you're using more foundation when you're using the beauty blender as opposed to the foundation brush. But this one is much easier in foundation application of the foundation. So after you've applied the foundation, if you want to use, like, when you're highlighting, when you're using a transparent powder or setting powder, before you use the powder for your color, you can use this. It's also angled brush, but you can see it's big and it's fluffier, so you can use this for underneath the eye, like this. As you can see, the way it's angled, it's for pushing underneath the eye. So this is where you can use this brush for setting powder when you're highlighting your face. So you can use this small but fluffy brush. It's also a setting powder, a brush for setting powder, or a contour brush. You can contour using a darker powder. So this can be a contour powder, contour brush. It is usually smaller than the powder brush. Then the powder brush, after you've already finished setting your face, contouring your face, you will need to use powder, which is your color now, to just blend everything in. That is when you need this. This is a powder brush. A powder brush is bigger than all the other brushes. When you're going to get a powder brush, you'll notice that it is the largest brush in the bunch. It is usually the biggest brush you can find for using for powdering your face. Now, after you've highlighted, you've contoured, you've used blush, now it's time to use your powder. You can just set everything with your powder using this big powder brush. So you need a powder brush. This one is not really necessary, because if you're not highlighting, you're not contouring your face, it's just a kawaida look, you don't need this. You just need the powder brush. This is extremely important, because after foundation you will have to apply powder. So powder brush, very, very, very important. So if you want to apply, if you want to apply blush, this brush can be for applying blush. It's a blush brush. You can use this if you want to apply blush as well, the angled brush. But powder brush, very, very, very important for applying powder. So angled brush for your eyebrows, small flat brush for eyeshadow, which is usually the shimmer eyeshadow, fluffy brush for the matte eyeshadow to just blend everything in here. So these are for the eyes, fluffy and flat brush, and angled brush for the eyebrows. This foundation brush or beauty blender, then powder brush. Those are the only ones you'll need. So as a beginner, I suggest you can only get this. They usually come 5 of them. You can get a pack of 5. It has the powder brush, it has the concealer one, the eyeshadow one, and for the eyebrows. It's usually a 5-pack, which is fine. That is if you don't know. The foundation brush is usually smaller in that pack. It's like this. The foundation brush is usually smaller, so you can outsource your own outside of that pack foundation brush, or a beauty blender. It's a blender, I think it's like 300 bob or 200 bob, which I think for a beginner it will be easier to apply makeup, though it will absorb a lot of foundation. You might end up finishing the bottle sooner than you expected. But a beauty blender, I'd suggest it's really easy using a beauty blender as opposed to a foundation brush. But a foundation brush will really save your product. It won't absorb as much as the beauty blender. So those are the brushes that you will need as a beginner when you're going to buy. So if it is your first time doing makeup, those are the few tools that you will need from just the beginning. You will build up on that if you want to use a highlighter for highlighting. There's also a brush for highlighting, which looks like this, but it's not necessary for you. You can just use your hand to put highlight on your face, so it's not necessary. Those are the few tools that you need when you're beginning makeup: a beauty blender or a foundation brush, a powder brush, very important, an angled brush for your eyebrows, or just the normal flat brush, or just a flat brush. For the eyes, flat brush, fluffy brush. Those are the only ones you'll need when you're applying eyeshadow. Flat brush or flat brush. You can use this angled brush when you want to put the concealer underneath the eyebrows to make that arc here. Then a foundation brush. It depends with the shape and size it comes. So you can get a fluffy one, which would be easier for makeup application. But also you can also use a beauty blender, which is easier than the foundation brush. And last but not least, a powder brush. Make sure you get this. Is extremely important because there's no way you'll use anything else to apply. You can even use your hands to apply foundation, but powder, you will need a powder brush. This is the most important in your set. Make sure you get a powder brush. So if there's any more questions, anything that you want to ask about the tools that you need to apply for makeup application, kindly use it in the comment section below and comment, and I'll get back to you. And if this video has been helpful, kindly give it a thumbs up and share it with your friend, and kindly subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Bye bye.